The Los Angeles Clippers are in a bit of a tough spot right now. They're 10 games into the season and they've been uneven to say the least. On one hand, Paul George has been playing exceptionally well, Marcus Morris is still a productive player, and John Wall is proving to a lot of doubters that he still has a little bit left in the tank. On the other hand, last season's acquisitions Robert Covington and Norman Powell, two players expected to bolster the team's depth, have failed to make an impact. And then there's the big one.
That's the big one.
It was announced today that Kawhi Leonard is out indefinitely as he continues to recover from a torn ACL. A torn ACL he suffered 17 months ago. This is just the latest blow to the Clippers franchise since Kawhi and Paul George joined, and honestly, it's hard not to wonder if this is going to be the knockout blow. PG is 32 and Kawhi is 31, and both have struggled a lot with injuries since arriving in LA, and athletes don't generally get healthier as they age. I mean, God, for as much hate as AD gets for missing games, he's actually played more games since arriving in LA than Kawhi and PG have. But what happened to the Clippers? This was a team that most held in a higher regard than the Lakers in 2019 when both teams formed their superstar duos, and they have consistently been among the championship favorites even in subsequent years. This was seen as the team that would finally be able to win the Clippers their first championship in franchise history. So how did Kawhi's Clippers fail? But before we start this video, I just gotta say something real quick. Hey guys, before we start this next video, I just wanted to come on and say thank you to everyone who watched the NBA Rivalries video and has been supporting the channel since then. It's currently at 250,000 views, which is, it's just unbelievable. It's if you can't already have guessed, it completely obliterated the most optimistic expectations I would have had for that video. And to see so many people enjoy it and all the nice comments and everything has been absolutely amazing. So to anyone who watched that video, who watched any of our other videos and liked them, subscribed, commented, even if you disagreed on the Rivalries video, it was super cool to read through the comments and see all the differing opinions and different takes people had on it. And that's one of the great things about sports. Everyone's got a different angle, everyone's got a different opinion, and it was really cool to read through a lot of those responses. So yeah, thank you to everyone. It's a little overwhelming if you can't tell, but we're back at work trying to get some more content out. So stay tuned. If you subscribed, I got one thing to say for you.
Let's ride.
No, no, we're not saying that. But thank you. Also, one other thing, Ben and I were considering doing a Q&A for 1,000 subscribers, but we've completely smashed that. So we're going to do it at 10,000 subscribers. So if you have any questions for Ben and I, leave them down in the comments. We'll pick out some of the best ones and we'll answer those for you guys. Until then, though, enjoy the video. I'll get out of your guys' way. If you enjoy the video, please do drop it a like. It helps us out a ton. Give us a subscribe. And yeah, thank you guys. See you around. The 2018-19 Clippers were one of the most entertaining teams in the NBA. Sure, they were only the 8th seed and Patrick Beverley will always be insufferable on some level, but this was a hard-nosed, tough, defensive-minded, unselfish team who grinded out 48 wins, pulled off one of, if not the greatest comeback in NBA playoff history, and gave the Warriors as much trouble as anyone else. Before the injuries. After that great season though, Kawhi and PG came calling, and the Clippers, still very much trying to escape the shadow cast by their purple and gold colleagues, they couldn't resist. They retained most of the same core, sans Danilo Gallinari and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who went to Oklahoma City, and they performed well under returning coach Doc Rivers, going 49-23 at the end of the bubble seeding games. But underneath that successful surface, cracks began to form. Kawhi and PG missed extensive time with both injuries and load management. Additionally, Kawhi was given significant leeway by the organization, often being permitted to dictate which games he played in, when he would be pulled from games, and being allowed to live in San Diego, which often led to him being late for team flights. This was a complete reversal of the philosophy the team had employed the previous year, which, like I said, took pride in their toughness, their defense, and their camaraderie. Cornerstones of the old Clippers, Patrick Beverley, Montrezl Harrell, and Lou Williams were often left frustrated by the treatment Kawhi and PG got. The Clippers were also left short-handed going into the bubble seeding games, with Montrezl Harrell missing all 8 games to be with his sick grandmother, a perfectly acceptable reason, by the way, and Lou Williams missed the first 2 seeding games for a fucking stupid reason. Nevertheless, the Clippers finished the season with the 2nd seed in the Western Conference and drew the Dallas Mavericks in the first round. The series was Luka's coming out party as a superstar, including his iconic Game 4 buzzer beater, but ultimately it just wasn't enough, and the Clippers dispatched the Mavericks in 6 games. This series, though, is more notable to this story because of what happened on the day of Luka's buzzer beater: the shooting of Jacob Blake, only 3 months after the murder of George Floyd. This prompted a boycott from the Milwaukee Bucks of their Game 5 versus the Orlando Magic on August 26th, and it led the NBA to suspend all games taking place that day. The NBA PA called a meeting and held a vote on continuing the season in the bubble or leaving, with only the Clippers and the Lakers voting to leave. It was at this point that cracks in the Clippers foundation began to leak. Rumors surfaced about players wanting to leave the bubble and that some didn't even want to go in the first place. This wasn't enough to make people abandon the Clippers, though, as they were heavy favorites going into their second round series with the Denver Nuggets. The Clippers looked the part through the first 4 games. And then we all know what happened. 16-point lead in Game 5? Not enough. 19-point lead in Game 6? Not enough. 12-point lead in Game 7? Not enough. The Clippers were dispatched in embarrassing fashion by the Nuggets, losing Game 7 by 15 points in one of the biggest collapses in NBA history. The team was railroaded all offseason by media and fans alike. Pandemic P memes flooded Twitter, and many in the media questioned the organization's treatment of their stars at the expense of team unity. Doc Rivers was fired in the offseason, and Tyronn Lue was brought in to right the ship. The next season, the last remnants of the scrappy underdog Clippers were soon sent away, with Montrezl Harrell moving upstairs to play for the Lakers and Lou Williams being dealt to Atlanta at midseason for Rajon Rondo. To replace them, the Clippers brought in Serge Ibaka and Reggie Jackson, who both had solid years, with Jackson especially playing well in the playoffs. The season, however, was not without its struggles. Kawhi and PG both missed a quarter of the season, and the Clippers regressed slightly to a 47-25 record, good enough for the 4th seed in the West. The Clippers were actually accused by some of intentionally tanking their last 2 games to ensure that they dodged the Lakers in the first round. While they dodged the Lakers, for the second straight year, the Clippers drew Dallas in the first round, and they played one of the strangest series in NBA playoff history. The road team won each of the first 6 games in the series, with both teams looking completely uncomfortable on their home floors. In Game 7, though, despite 46 points from Luka Doncic, that wasn't enough, and the Clippers knocked off the Mavericks thanks largely to a balanced scoring attack led by Kawhi's 28. The next round matched the Clippers with the top-seeded Utah Jazz, who nobody believed in. I'm not fully convinced Jazz fans believed their team would win this series. Nevertheless, the underdog Jazz managed to win both games in Utah to take a 2-0 lead in the series. The Clippers rebounded back in LA with 2 blowout wins in Games 3 and 4, but near the end of Game 4, Kawhi drove to the basket and was bumped by Joe Ingles. He came up limping, but remained in the game for a couple of minutes before subbing out for good. Kawhi was ruled out indefinitely with what the team was calling a knee sprain, although on June 28th, Kawhi went in for surgery to repair a partially torn ACL. Even without Kawhi, the Clippers stole Game 5 on the road behind 37 points and 16 boards from Paul George. And back in LA, the Clippers showed a flash of the 2018-19 team in Game 6 as they rallied from down 75-50 early in the third quarter to a 131-119 win, knocking off the Jazz and advancing to their first ever Western Conference Finals. There, they faced the Phoenix Suns, led by Devin Booker and former Lob City orchestrator Chris Paul. The Clippers dropped Game 1 in Phoenix, but in Game 2, they played well enough to be within 0.9 seconds of evening the series at 1 game apiece. And then this happened.
Crowder looking, throws it alley. Oh! He puts it down! He puts it down!
Honestly, the reactions of Stephen A. and Michael Wilbon describe this moment better than I ever could. The Clippers recovered from this devastating defeat to win Game 3, but they dropped a low-scoring Game 4, and the Suns increased their series advantage to 3 games to 1. Back in Phoenix for Game 5 though, the Clippers actually handled the Suns, winning by 14 thanks to Paul George's 41 points and 13 boards. God, this team was f***ing weird. However, in Game 6, the clock finally struck midnight for the Clippers. Chris Paul had the best playoff game of his career by far, dropping 41 points, including 7 of 8 from 3, and the Clippers were shown the proverbial door in front of their home fans. In stark contrast to the previous year, the Clippers bowed out to much praise from the NBA community, with many surprised they were even able to get past Utah after Kawhi went down. The 2021-2022 season without Kawhi proved tough. PG missed 50 games, including 43 straight from late December to late March. But with both Kawhi and PG out, the Clippers often played basketball reminiscent of their 2018-19 team. Reggie Jackson most nights was the go-to scorer, but the Clippers got contributions across the board from Marcus Morris, Luke Kennard, Terrence Mann, Ivica Zubac. They weren't world beaters on offense, but they maintained a top 10 defense and posted a not great, but certainly respectable 24-27 record without PG. With the moderate success the team was having without their two superstars, there was a lot of hope that if Kawhi and PG could get healthy in time for the playoffs, that the Clippers could make a run, even if they had to start from a lower seed. This wasn't to be, though. PG made it back in time for the play-in tournament, but Kawhi remained unavailable. The Clippers fell to the NBA champion Minnesota Timberwolves in their first play-in game before also losing their second play-in game to the New Orleans Pelicans.
And here we are today.
3 seasons, only 2 playoff berths, a single conference finals appearance, and no NBA championships. Virtually every problem that can affect an NBA team has affected the Clippers in the Kawhi PG era. Chemistry issues, egos clashing, untimely injuries, coaching changes, a goddamn global pandemic. Not all of this is on the Clippers. Both pandemics and injuries are not known for their predictability. But the Clippers can be blamed for coddling Kawhi and PG in year 1 and completely blowing up their team chemistry. Like I said earlier, NBA stars get some leeway, and with another team, there's a pretty good chance this strategy wouldn't have been an issue. A team with significant playoff experience likely would have been able to see the bigger picture and the ultimate goal. But not every team is the same, and the identity of that Clippers team did not fit at all with what management was giving to Kawhi and PG. I do genuinely hope that Kawhi can get healthy and the Clippers can have at least one good playoff run. You never want to see an athlete not playing due to injury, and the Clippers franchise is one of, if not the most historically unsuccessful franchises in the entire league, and I think their true fans who have stuck with them deserve to see them succeed. Maybe this will be the year. Maybe Kawhi will come back from injury stronger than ever. I don't know. But at this point, I don't think we can classify the Kawhi PG Clippers as anything else but a failure. I mean, say what you want about the Lakers, they at least won a championship. And that's the video. Do you think the Clippers will turn around eventually? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop it a like. It really helps us out. Check out some of our other videos on screen now. Thank you guys again for all the support we've gotten the past couple days. It's been a crazy few days, but it's been a really fun ride. And don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.